Hello, I'm Dave Koji. Welcome to the Pickleball Lounge, episode 16. The Pickleball Lounge is where I speak to influential members of the pickleball community about their involvement and experience on and off the pickleball court. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Astria Pickleball for sponsoring this episode. Head over to astriapickleball.com for their innovative paddles and gear. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to be notified of new pickleball interviews. Our very special guest today is Joel Mower, the founder and owner of Dink Ninjas, which is a performance pickleball apparel company. Dink Ninjas has an array of products that includes hats, shirts, headbands, and now even has their own paddle line and also stickers. See, on my phone, you can't really see that. It's not coming in, but there we go. There you go. Everyone stickers. I love Dink Ninjas a lot. The brand's great. Joel's great. So it's a real treat for me. And obviously, if you're like, how do I know Dink Ninjas? How do I know this? I wear Dink Ninja hat on all my interviews. Okay, so J.W. Johnson, Federico Statue, James Ignatowicz, whoever it is, you always see I'm always repping the brand. So Joel, great to have you on the show.
Hey, Dave, thanks for having me. This is a real pleasure.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. So how long have you been playing pickleball?
I started playing close to a year ago now, and not familiar with racket sports. Don't have a big background in ping pong or tennis like a lot of other players that I meet do, but just straight into pickleball here.
There you go. So why did you start playing the game? What kind of drew you to it?
Well, so I have a real estate background and I have done a lot of work in some retirement communities just adjacent to me over here in it's a Sun City community. They are super into pickleball and have been forever. All of us somewhat youngsters are a little newer to the sport. But in between inspections and deals over there in these communities, I'd sit and watch these folks play, and super entertaining to watch. Great community and a ton of competition over there. And obviously, I'm much too young to be in a retirement community as of yet. God willing, I'll make it that long. Pickleball will probably keep me in better shape than not. But really, that side of it really drew me in and started kind of getting me looking at different areas where I could play, since I'm not able to play in the retirement community without a retirement resident badge on. So
Yeah,
just started looking at different areas.
yeah, it's been, when you ask the average person who actually doesn't play pickleball, and then you say you play pickleball, he's like, are you old enough to play pickleball? Yeah, there's not an age restriction. It's not like getting on, a hike to get on a ride in Disneyland. Anyone can play. And so where did you start playing? Were you on a trip? Were you at home? When did you first pick up that paddle and play?
Well, I was encouraged by a good friend of mine. He plays at a really high level professionally. His name is Brandon Insickpong, and he lives in a community just a few miles from me.
Oh.
And just talking to him and having him over for dinner, and our families are good friends, good family friends of ours. And he asked me one night, "Are you playing pickleball?" And I said, "No." And he said, "What's your excuse?" And so I said, "Well, I don't have one." So he was encouraging me to pick up a paddle and start playing, and just kind of evolve from there.
And so much so that my friend Joel here does not also play pickleball. He has his own pickleball company. And so I do want to get into Dink Ninjas again. I absolutely love the name, fell in love with the brand. I reached out to Joel. I think I created I think how we met. What I do is for some pickleball brands, I'll create a graphic. I'll take their logo, their brand, I'll create a graphic. And that's how we kind of met, because I took your logo, I made a graphic. I always say, "Hey, is this cool for me to post?" And you said, "Yeah, you loved it." And that's kind of how our relationship started. But so when did you create Dink Ninjas, and how did you come up with this idea?
So I have a super entrepreneurial spirit, and I have been since I was really young. Just trying to find a niche and figure out how to fill it, and just came up with the idea. Hey, I want a hat to wear while I'm playing, and I'm not really the type that's necessarily tied to a brand. There's all these obviously big sportswear brands out there, and I'm artistic, and so I kind of want something unique to wear, and just kind of came up with the concept one night. I was having trouble sleeping, as a matter of fact, and too dark to play pickleball. So got the creative juices flowing, and kind of came up with the idea. I was trying to conceptualize that idea of who would I be playing against where I would have no chance of getting the upper hand against him. And so I thought, hey, if I'm on the court playing against a ninja, he's going to
Oh,
be way faster than I am. He's going to be super deceptive. He's going to be all over the place before I can even anticipate what he's doing. And so came up with the idea of Dink Ninja. Obviously, Dink's a really popular
yeah.
shot, and it seems to be gaining in popularity the more experienced players get. And kind of wanted to keep it more of an approachable brand. So I drew him up as more of a cartoon type character. So he's a little more approachable and more humorous than a typical ninja would be, I guess.
Yeah, it's not intimidating where you're off put by it. It's fun, it's engaging. I remember I wore this hat at a bigger tournament I went to in Connecticut, and people like that, I love your hat. I was like, yeah, no, a buddy of mine created it. And it's definitely eye appealing for sure, and it is engaging. And so now the design itself, right? I do some graphic design myself, and everything is meticulous, even down to the font, to the colors. So I'm going to dive a little bit deep on you here. How did you land on this font specifically?
So I was just kind of playing around with different fonts,
Yeah,
and I was thinking, hey, what would fit with the graphic or the image of the ninja? And
yeah,
so I just kind of dipped into my artistic background and thought, hey, let's do something that looks like it would fit. And I wanted a font that's from a design standpoint. I wanted a font that's leaning towards the image, and
yeah.
so all the lettering is leaning towards the image. So it's kind of drawing you to what I'm trying to get after here.
Yeah, and art in itself is within the beholder, and but it's good to hear from the artist what your original concept was and what you're going for. So I appreciate you giving us that little journey there. So I just want to for this is kind of more for our next set of questions here, Joel, is for those people that like, hey, I love pickleball. How can I get more into it? How did this guy do it? So if you could take us through your company's journey a little bit, how it was started, how you progressed, and how you see your brand evolving in the future.
Yeah. So I think it was probably around February or March when I started actually producing hats, and then ongoing, I just started diversifying a little bit into different colors and different types of hats and all that, and just started posting stuff on Instagram. And obviously, in Austin, Texas, it's one of the meccas of pickleball, and so tons of different venues to play, huge pickleball community, and just started wearing my stuff around and started getting some really good feedback, and thought, hey, this is gaining some traction, and sooner than I would have originally expected. I thought, oh, well, let's just slow roll this thing. Obviously, it's not my 9 to 5 as of right
Right,
now,
right, right.
and so kind of a side gig here. Um, but started getting some really good feedback and some traction. And obviously, you reached out to me
Yeah,
shortly after that time, and started getting a little more traction and a lot of feedback on social media platforms and everything. Stuff travels like wildfire
Yeah,
all over the
yeah,
planet.
sure does.
So really, really cool to be a part of social media when you're starting something like this, and started gaining traction. And then I got reached out to. There's a company out there in Virginia, East Coast area, Arlington Iron Paddles. They reached out to me, and a guy named Paul, Pickles Paul, Coach Pickles Paul. This is
Nice.
his tag. He's a really high level player out there, and they reached out to me and approached me about being a sponsor at the Bellhaven Country Club. They were promoting
Wow.
a pros versus 5-O's tournament out there.
Yeah.
Some of the resident pros, Paul was one of them that was going to be playing in this match.
Huh.
And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to be involved. Who are the pros?" And they mentioned the fact that Ben Johns,
Wow.
Anna Bright, and Brooke Buckner were going to be the pros there. And so I said, "I have no idea why I'm being contacted here, but I'd love to be a part of
This is a dream come true.
this is a dream come true, and they're knocking on my door." So I thought, holy smokes, I had to put the top of my head back on, but super, super honored to have been a part of that. And their end of things is growing leaps and bounds. Had some great dialogue with them after the tournament and the match um, occurred, and they said they're going to plan one in the near future. They'd love for my brand to be a part of it, and it's going to be even bigger and better than the last. So super honored to be a part of that, and super honored with all of the feedback and the community outreach that's reached out to me in this process. It's just been kind of mind blowing to start something from the ground up, just from a concept, and then just have it take off like this. It's really been an honor to be a part of this pickleball community so far.
Yeah, and you said it, the pickleball community is so amazing. And it seems like wherever you go, whoever I talk to, whatever venue you go to, they're so welcoming and so gracious and just love to see you. And that is super exciting. Obviously, you're saying the biggest names in the game right there, and to be a part of that is really great, and it's a good validation for you as well, right? It kind
For
of gives
sure.
that motivation. I'm gonna put the foot on the pedal here a little bit more. I mean, things are going pretty well for me. Um, that's really fantastic. So I know we got the hats. I got a headband, which I love. Um, you know you have shirts now, and you more recently, in a big announcement on Instagram, have a paddle. Now, do you happen to have one lying around there, Joel?
I certainly do.
Well, let's get that up there.
As a matter of fact, Dave,
Look at that.
this is the new carbon white hot edition of the Dink Ninja line. It's a carbon paddle, and really, really excited about it. And just actually got it in just about a week ago, and got a chance to play with it. And last week or so, I've been playing with it in a bunch of different venues, and love the feel of it. It
Awesome.
plays just amazing, and I can't get enough of it. I've been playing with it, and I've been getting great feedback from it. Had some people step on the court using it in some rec leagues that I'm a part of, and
Oh,
got
nice.
some great feedback.
You gotta love that. And you can purchase, if you go to dinkninjas.com, you can get the hat, the shirt, the headband, and the paddle. You'd be all decked out, and are there any other products, are you envisioning any more products out there? Are they gonna be put on the website?
I think I am. Yeah. Just kind of in the initial stages. We're pretty young as a apparel brand and as a company, and as the brand gets people are more aware of it, we get some more brand awareness out there. I've had a bunch of suggestions from fellow players. Hey, let's look at something like this. Hey, let's look at something like that, and put it on there. And so to roll back just a little bit, that's the where the concept for the headbands came in.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
my buddy Brandon Insikpong, he wears headbands every time he plays, and it's just a great way to keep the sweat out of his face while he's playing. And so he was approaching me and he said, "Hey, man, if you want to delve into headbands, just let me know." So that's where the concept for the headband came in, and it's been doing great.
That is fantastic. Yeah, well, I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I love to see small businesses, entrepreneurs building things from the ground up. It is just so rewarding to see that as a fellow entrepreneur. And yeah, I mean, the sky is the limit from bags to balls, bring your own ball. I mean, there's just so much that you could go and wherever you want to go with this, which is really, really cool. So we heard about the good, we heard about all the success that's come along with this, but we know with any business, there are some challenges. So what are some of the hurdles that you have or are currently facing with Ding Ninjas?
So just from my standpoint, being an entrepreneur and starting a business, I've actually run into a number of hurdles with this in the fact that I'm not a web designer. I am not a point of sale expert. I am not a expert photographer. And so there's been a number of things that have evolved when I realized, hey, I'm going to build a website. I need to integrate point of sale into that.
Oh, yeah.
I need to do all these different things to make this process work far outside of my concept and my artistic ability and what I've come up with here. And so it's been a big learning curve for me. I've run a business in the past, but nothing that had to do with any sort of e-commerce or maintaining a website or anything like that. And so it's been entertaining to me to try to overcome all those different hurdles that were completely unforeseen in the original onset of this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if for those people who are again are looking for entrepreneurship for the first time or business ownership for the first time, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The idea phase is exciting, launching is exciting, but you don't forget you have to run the business too. And that it can be challenging. You have to be persistent, passionate about what you're doing. You can't worry about the money coming in. If you're not passionate, you won't survive. It's not going to happen, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur. So I really praise you for that. It takes a lot of work. A lot of people don't understand what it takes to do this.
For sure.
Yeah. So when will we see Ben Johns wearing Dink Ninjas on the PPA tour? That's what I want to know. Who we get at that point, Joel?
So at some point, I'm going to have to figure out how to get him to break his lifetime deal that he just signed.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I was reaching for his coattails there for a second, and then I heard his lifetime deal,
Yeah.
and realizing that there's been only 3 professional athletes in all of sports that were able to get a lifetime deal.
Yeah.
Now there's 4. So
you need to choose a different player, I think.
yes, slightly.
No, that's cool. And the great thing about this too is that a lot of young people are getting involved. I mean, even my son's 13, my daughter is 8, and they like playing, and I hear that colleges are on the brink of introducing this. So I mean, even you start working with colleges and sponsoring their stuff. I mean, if you start that now, you don't know, you set yourself for the future with that. So something to consider,
Right.
especially with the new rules about athletes can be paid to. So you may want to get someone that's starting in college, scout some players, give them something early, get them on the payroll, and then as they progress through the professional ranks, you got your players. But I know we're talking shop. It's not the point of the interview, but I like talking about that stuff, Joel. But anyway, I do want to. I got one more question for you, Joel, and then I'm going to give you the floor if you want to talk a little bit more about the company. But for those people that are starting up their own brand, what advice would you give other people that want to start a pickleball product company?
I would say that if you're already plugged into the community as far as being a player, even amateur, beginner, just keep your eyes open. There's a ton of opportunities out there, a ton of holes that can get filled in a burgeoning sport like this. Obviously, the audience is constantly evolving from a viewership standpoint and from a player standpoint, and so if you've got an idea or a thought or something like that that you've been dreaming about, I'd say go for it. Do your homework. Obviously, you don't just want to jump into the deep end, but there's so many different people in this community that could mentor you in this space and could say, "Hey, yeah, let's steer it a little bit this direction. Let's steer it a little bit that direction." As far as what your concept you want to be, but just keep your ears open. Keep your ears to the ground. There's so many different experienced people in this game and in other games that are moving into this space that have a ton of experience. And just keep your ear to the ground. There's so many different people out there that are willing to help, and I've experienced that being just as new as we are. There's so many different avenues that are willing to jump in and help you and give you advice. And then you've got a ton of advice in your toolbox as far as all the different feedback that you get. And then you can kind of pick and choose, kind of cherry pick what you want to do. And with all that advice, realize, hey, this is great advice. This is not so good advice, but all advice, in my opinion, is good advice. All feedback is good feedback because you can take some of it with a grain of salt and then take other pieces of advice and really run with it.
Yeah, and I would also encourage people to not boil the ocean, meaning you don't have to create every product all at once. Just start with one. Joel started with a hat. Now he's evolving, right? And who knows what might be down the road, but start small, be hyper focused on one thing because again, when you're in the idea phase, when you're getting excited about something, in your mind, you see the success already happening, but it takes time and don't give up. I mean, just keep at it. It could take years for something to really get going. Um, so Joel, where can our viewers find the Ninja products? Where can they go? How can they get in contact with you?
So I'm on a bunch of different social media platforms at Dink Ninjas on Instagram. I Dink Ninjas on TikTok. I do a little bit of stuff on TikTok so far. I'm a little newer to that, but on Facebook, Twitter, all the major different social media outlets, I'm posting stuff on there, and you can find my website at dinkninjas.com. And I'm just continuing to produce content everywhere I go, and just building brand awareness. And so find us on Instagram. You'll see I tag a lot of products in my posts. So if you click on the product, it'll take you right to my website and you can purchase it directly through there.
Yeah, and I will link your accounts too in the description, just so people have that right away. But
Perfect.
Joel, it was a pleasure to speak with you. I hope we can do this again. I just see so much potential in this brand, which I adore. I just love it. And so thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate all the kind words. And thanks again. It's been an honor, Dave.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Have a good rest of the day. Take care.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.